mushrooms are in the pan.
Hi, it's Kelly Bradford from Vegan Mom and Sons. About 2 months ago, I made a sausage Wellington and I didn't get around to making a video for it until today. So I hope you like it. I'm going to post the recipe right before, so you'll have to pause it because I tend to be a little quick with the slides. Also, there's going to be a subscribe button somewhere throughout this video. I'm sure you can figure that out. Comment below. Follow me on @Vegan Mom and Sons on Instagram. Hope you enjoy. Thanks. So you're going to take a package of mushrooms and put it in a pan with a little oil, and I like to add salt because it brings out the water in the mushrooms and they will cook a little faster. Then you're just going to taste them just to make sure that they're delicious, and I'm sure they are. And then once you've done that, you're going to chop them up. You can either take them out of the pan to chop it, or you can, if you have a little chopper like I do, you can just chop them right in the pan. It doesn't have to be in little pieces because I kind of wanted to chunk the Wellington up with the mushrooms just to kind of get a little more volume. So that's why I'm kind of doing this. Then you're going to separate the mushrooms. You're going to take a little bit out and put it in a pan with some onions because you're going to make a mushroom gravy. And you're going to do this by cooking the mushrooms until they're translucent. I like to add a little soy sauce just to make it a little browner. You certainly don't have to do this because the onions will brown on its own. And then I'll put a little poultry seasoning in it to flavor it up. And then once you do that, you're going to add about a tablespoon of flour and kind of mix that around and cook it until the flour taste disappears. And then you're going to add either water or veggie broth to this. And I did not add veggie broth because I added seasoning to it, so I figured I didn't need the extra seasonings. So once you do that, you're going to just stir it around, and you don't want to add too much water at one time because you can't take the water away. So once it's to the consistency that you like it, you're going to turn it down to simmer and just let it simmer just for a while until your Wellington's done. If it gets a little thick, you can always add a little extra water at the end. So once the other mushrooms are in the bowl, you're going to add your sausage. I love Gimme Lean sausage from Light Life. It's my favorite sausage, and I feel like it has that sausage flavor that I remember eating as a little kid, because it's been a long time since I've actually had sausage. So, but I feel like it's the closest thing. So once you do that, you're just going to season it up, and I'm going to add a little pepper and minced onion. I added a little extra minced onion because I wanted onion inside of it, but I didn't want to chop up onion and actually put it inside because I didn't want it to be too chunky. But I probably add about a teaspoon here, and then I added about a half a teaspoon of pepper. And then I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and the same goes for the poultry seasoning, which I'm going to put in there as well, and oregano. And then I'm going to put salt. So I would say all of those are probably about a half a teaspoon. I just kind of was winging it to taste at this point, but I feel like if you're measuring it, that's about what I put in. So then once you're done with that, you're going to add ketchup, just because I feel like it needed a little ketchup. I feel like meatloaf, if you're making kind of as meatloaf, it has ketchup in it always. So I did that, and I put a little soy sauce in it. And then you're just basically going to mix it up until it's combined and all the mushrooms are kind of incorporated with the sausage. Because then you're going to lay it out on a cookie sheet with foil. And you're going to take about half of that mixture to do that. And then you're just going to pat it down, and then you're going to add the mashed potatoes right on top, kind of in the center. And then you're going to add the rest of the sausage mixture on top and form it into sort of a log. I decided that I wanted to cook this before I put it into the puff pastry, just because I know with the puff pastry it was only going to take about 15 minutes to cook, so I wanted the sausage to be done, obviously. And then you're going to put it in the oven on 350 for about 20 or 25 minutes. Just kind of check it. It depends on your oven. Mine was about 20, I think, is when I took it out. So then you're going to take the puff pastry. When you get the box of puff pastry, it's going to be frozen, so you want to take the piece of puff pastry, say that 10 times fast, that you're going to use out and kind of let it thaw out, and then you're going to put a little flour down and roll it out once it's thawed. And then you're going to take the sausage Wellington out of the oven, and you're going to flip it up on its top onto the puff pastry. I realized at this point that I probably should have greased the foil just so that the Wellington didn't stick to it, but it actually wasn't too bad. But definitely grease your foil. And then you're just gonna wrap the pastry around the Wellington. You might have to cut it a little bit. I did, just so I can have a little extra puff pastry to put on the top for decorations. And you kind of might have to roll it out a little bit more just to fit it, but basically you're going to cover it. Doesn't really matter what the bottom of the Wellington looks like, because you're going to put that part down onto the cookie sheet before you cook it. And then basically you're just going to fold it over and do that. And then you're going to turn it up over onto a cookie sheet. And I use the extra little pieces that I cut off to make little decorations on top. And I chose to make little lines. So I cut little strips, and that's how I did it. You can choose to decorate it however you like. But yeah, so that's what I did there. And then I'm going to put a little soy milk on top, because normally people will put an egg wash on top, but I found out that you can actually spoon soy milk on top, and it'll give it that little bit of sheen or golden color that eggs normally do. So see, you don't need eggs or dairy or meat to make your favorite meals. You can use soy milk. So once you decorate it, you're just going to basically put it in the oven according to the puff pastry package directions, which I believe are 450. It might be 400, and you're going to do that for about 15 minutes or until it's brown. And then that's it. You're going to cut it up, and then you're going to serve it with the gravy. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Follow me on Instagram at @VeganMomandSons. Thank you.